Good morning and happy Thanksgiving to everyone out there today. What a beautiful day. We're coming live early morning Thanksgiving. Mr. Aaron James, it's got to be a little early out there. What's it, 8:30, right?
Yes.
That's I was up at 8:30 here. I was up early here. I was up at 6:30. It's being an adult stinks because you wake up early. I don't like it. Happy Thanksgiving, bud.
Happy Thanksgiving.
What time you guys doing dinner tonight?
We are doing dinner at 6 p.m. Pacific time.
Oh man, that's late. That's still late.
Yeah.
It's late. That's not too bad, I guess. It's listen, I'm hoping to probably be in a turkey coma by that time. 9 o'clock here, yeah. I might be knocked out already. But man, it's a good day. It's a good week. Somebody was right, somebody was wrong. And this time, hey, I don't, I'll give due where dues due, and you get it. You called it. Washington didn't. Well, listen, up in the fourth quarter, no team really looked like they really cared to win that game. But when you look at that game, we'll go over that a little bit before we dive into the Thanksgiving Day game. Man, it was a very well played game by the defense up until really that fourth quarter, a couple of plays. But man, I was very impressed with that defense most of that game. They did come out to play. They showed up. I don't know if it has as much to do if Dallas's defense showed up. The Jaden Daniels kind of regressing some in his rookie year. So that combination really set up for some great play up until, I was watching that game and I was talking to some buddies and they're like, man, you guys won. I'm like, listen, I've seen things happen. Okay. Watch this year. We've lost 5 straight. We can give up a quick touchdown and not even 2 seconds later, man, he hits Terry. He cuts it, makes one cut, no, 2 cuts, boom to the left, boom back to the right and gone. And my buddy's ahead of me because I don't know how, I don't know with YouTube TV. And he's ahead of me and he starts screaming. And I'm watching and the dude misses the field goal. Like, what a game. But that defense, most of that game showed up. They made a nightmare, for Daniels to play. They kind of contained that Washington offense. Really outside of Jaden Daniels, they weren't able to run the ball that well. So, I was pretty impressed. I was happy. What did you see? They did get, they 2 interceptions, 4 sacks. I think that's what they did right. They kept the offense in the game. They didn't let it get too out of control. And really, once the offense started scoring, they started scoring and started putting up points. And so it's good to see the offense finally click and the defense not really shut down like we've seen in second halves. Fourth quarter's different, but they played well most of that game.
Well, the defense bailed us out throughout the first half because we start with a blocked field goal followed by a missed field goal. And then we had a Dowdle fumble, and we also had a blocked punt.
It was a tough.
I mean, we tried to lose this game for those.
Everything we could do.
Yes, anything that could go wrong on special teams went wrong. But the turning point. Well, first of all, for our defense, it's worth shouting out Josh Butler, who came in, had some pass breakups. I mean, this guy was all over the field. He looked like Malcolm Butler in that Super Bowl game, not in the game where Malcolm Butler was benched in the second Super Bowl. So shout out to Josh. And then the turning point for this game was in the fourth quarter, early in the fourth, where Wilson forces a fumble on defense, and that leads to the drive where Schoonmaker gets that 30-plus yard touchdown, and then we go up, I think 20-9 or something along those lines. So, defense looked great. I was pretty disappointed, and I was about to text you in the first, late into the first quarter, like the first quarter was almost over, or may have even peeked into the second quarter, and Parsons' name had been called once.
Yeah, but they played, the defense as a whole kind of did what they need to do. And he did show up that game afterwards. He did, make his impact. But you're right. There was a lot of that defense. that game could have went south quick, very quick.
Oh yeah.
And I remember, we were texting back and forth, and you're like, yo, they can still do it, this defense. And then, next play, we got special teams, gaffes, both, one kind of coming up the middle, but both off the right side. It looked very bad. Yeah, they did everything they could to throw it away. But at the end of the day, they came through. Cooper Rush, didn't turn the ball over there, and no interceptions. So that's a good thing. He threw 2 touchdowns, 24-32, so efficient. 247. And the good thing was, you saw CD get involved. He had 12 targets, only 67 yards, but he did have 10 catches. But like you said, you saw Schoon look good. He had some nice plays. Jalen Brooks made a nice play later in the game. I think it was almost right after. Wasn't he the one? Or no, you were saying he was the one who should get those at that Tolbert drop, right? And then you were saying, Brooks, or they traded, but like they started producing. And, Rico had himself a solid game outside of that fumble. He averaged 4.5 yards a carry, 19 carries. So, they were in it. It was nice to see them keep the running game going and not really get away from it like they have in the past few weeks. Even when it was early and close in the game, it felt like Dallas was still just trying to throw the ball.
Yeah. And our offensive line, to your point, held up quite well with Zach Martin out. Hoffman comes in. Bass was in there. And I posted on X, because you had the sense that Martin has been, his body has been battling throughout the season. Yeah. And it's been like, whether it be a back or shoulder or a knee, it really has me thinking if he's been, 75% and is kind of holding the team back in that aspect. We're going to put him in because he's a Hall of Famer, and if he says he can go, he'll go. And not that he's been getting beat all so much, but you just kind of see some fresh bodies in there, and you see the production that Dowdle was able to get, and that seems to be the magical number. You get Dowdle 18 or more carries, you see a little bit more efficiencies in the game surrounding the full offense, and I got to tell you, man, I'm pretty excited to have Cooks back, just to be another option for Rush this coming next game.
Yeah, and in the defense, you got to give him credit going into this game. You knew kind of who Washington's dudes are. Zach Ertz is kind of having a resurgence this year, and they shut him down pretty well. And you knew their number one. You knew Scary Terry. And they really shut him down outside of the 86-yard touchdown pass he caught and made a nice play. They did their job shutting him down. Outside of that, he only had 16 yards on 4 catches. So, the 86 1-yard hurts. It definitely helps the average, And
before I forget, Devontae Turpin. He needs to reach out to Madden. They need to update his speed to 99 and his spin move to 99.
I'm with you on that. That kid, man, they just got to continue to get him the ball and find ways. You got to get him more. To me, at this point, they're not making you might have an outside chance. I'm very, very 2%. They need to find ways this season. I get it. Get him the ball, because if you can get someone like him to complement Lamb long term, he's a guy that's dangerous with the ball in his hand. So they have to start figuring out ways to get him more involved in this offense. I would actually like to see, instead of using Lamb in a lot of those backfield formations, I'd much rather see Turpin back there. Because I know you want to get CD the ball, but I feel like just putting his body, making a running back where you're going to get rammed by those big offensive linemen. I'd much rather see. I don't have as much invested in Turpin, and he's got that one cut, take it to the house ability. So they need to get him more involved. Yeah, he's so good. He's good.
With his kind of speed, you would think, okay, well, how about we do some plays where we have max protect and you have Turpin and Lamb going on routes.
I'd be cool, like some play action stuff too, and just send him on go.
because the defense is going to have to be like, okay, if we're gonna double team CD, let's get Turpin on a nice deep out route or what have you. Let's stretch the defense out, have them, have multiple eyes on our wideouts. Can you imagine if Turpin was on the Chiefs?
Oh my gosh, the Chiefs. Andy would know what to do with him.
Yeah,
He may be. I'm not saying, but they would find a way to get him involved because it really does feel like a lot of our big plays, most of our big plays this season have come from him.
Yeah.
And Andy, a guy like Andy and a quarterback like Mahomes would understand. Let's get that guy the ball. Yeah, man, that would be scary. That would be scary.
And who knows how this game turns out if he doesn't have that house call with 3 minutes left. Who knows if we don't go through an out 3 and out and give him the ball back?
It's a totally different. Yeah, you don't know, and that's just the ability that kid has. So when you look at it, do you feel Dallas going into this week? I'm actually excited because we don't have to face Tommy Cutlets just because I don't feel like hearing it. He may play, but they said he was questionable, leaning towards no, and I didn't feel like hearing all the jokes. So but I did want to do this a couple times. I just wanted to be out there every time he threw an interception, like, buddy. But do you think, can they keep the momentum rolling into this Thanksgiving matchup against the Giants, a very depleted Giants team as well? They just got rid of Daniel Jones. They didn't want to pay him the bonus or whatever to keep him on the roster. They knew they had to move on. You bring in, Tommy, and he, now he's hurt. He may not play this week. So I think they said it could be Drew Lock and Tim Boyle backing him up. So,
yeah.
Is that enough to keep the momentum rolling, bud?
I think it is. Unfortunately, because
I
don't know, picking up these wins on garbage time, it feels like is going to be a little bit painful. But the thing is, I don't see the players, at this point having given up on Mike McCarthy. He still has the locker room. He still has these guys playing hard. We're getting healthier to a certain degree, mostly on the defensive side of things. We're getting really healthy, even though we haven't had a game yet with all our starting DBs.
Aaron.
Yeah.
They lost 5 games in a row before they beat a rookie quarterback. And the losses were pretty embarrassing.
They were.
Let's not say they haven't, because I've watched this. They've quit on this coach. Like that was more pride in them. That's not I'm playing for Mike McCarthy. They've quit on Mike McCarthy a long time ago.
I don't know about that. I don't think you can sell me.
I've listened to Micah Parsons openly. I've listened to the players openly rip this dude. To me, you don't openly rip a coach that you're excited to play for and you want to play for. If you have to come out and clarify comments you made about your head coach, no. At this point, no. It's over. Like I think that's more of a little bit Jaden Daniels digressing. Mike Zimmer knowing a rookie quarterback, what to throw at a rookie quarterback to make him not look great. I think it's more that than Mike McCarthy in this situation.
Well, with that being said, how many more games would you say, if you're McCarthy, how many more games do you need to win this season to fool Jerry Jones into extending it? Or do you think that's already
Jerry Jones has already said he wants to extend him. So I'm all like, listen, I may just never be a Cowboys fan again if Jerry extends Mike McCarthy. This guy has done nothing but show he can't win in the playoffs here. I don't care that he won a Super Bowl 30 years ago, won Super Bowl, by the way, with Aaron Rodgers. Like, Aaron Rodgers is a Hall of Fame quarterback. He's very good. The dude won one Super Bowl, okay? Lucked into a Super Bowl. It was a backdoor Super Bowl. So let's not sit here and act like Mike McCarthy did anything. He had a very good team. And other than that Super Bowl, the dude ain't done dog crap. And Jerry Jones wants to come out and say, oh, yeah, that's boiling. Come on. I don't even know what to say now, because now that Jerry's saying he wants to extend him, I just assumed he was gone. I think all Cowboys fans, I think everyone assumed he's gone. And Jerry still got the nerve to tease that he could sign this dude to an extension. Are you serious? Unless this is the reaction he wanted.
From
Then
Jason.
it was. If this is the reaction you wanted, Jerry, bravo, buddy. Bravo,
Yeah,
because you got it.
He said something along the lines like of it not being out of the realm of possibilities. And
Zero.
I think if McCarthy wins 2 more games, it probably locks up his extension, which I'm fearful of.
Because I think they have 2 easy. They have 2. To me, you're saying 2 wins. They have 2 more wins in the schedule. They may win 3 more games this season because they play the Giants, who they should beat, and you play the Carolina Panthers, who you probably should beat. That's 2 wins. You get Washington again at the end of the year. You don't know what's going on. The Eagles are going to be playing. You don't know if you can beat them. The Bengals are one of those teams you could beat too. There's possible 3 wins in here. Don't tell me 2 wins brings him back, because that means he's coming back.
I'm fearful, but I'm hopeful that if he does an extension, he does a show me year and just does a 1-year extension. Like, hey, I want to see him with a healthy quarterback for a full season with the starting quarterback, and he's going to say something along the lines of, "You saw how our defense came together, and that's what we were expecting, to happen all season."
I've got 5 years with Mike McCarthy with this quarterback.
Yeah.
I forget how long he's been here, and you can't continue this. He showed me this year. I saw enough with Dak this season and Mike McCarthy to know I don't want to bring him back. It's not like they were 5-0 or 4-0. Dak goes. If they're rolling, it's a different story. If they're undefeated or a 1-loss team coming off of that, and that 1 loss, is close game, then I think you have an argument. You got any type of debate to bring him back. You have a point. At this point, right now, I do think Jerry's trolling. I don't think there's no leg to stand on to bring this guy back. You can't. I don't know how you can justify bringing him back. There's no point I think you can make. Right? You believe that, right?
Well, I believe it. I don't think McCarthy deserves an extension, but I'm just saying we have an owner here that history tells us he's going to side with the guy that he has in the room.
I don't like it. I don't like it.
I don't like it either. But I will tell you, from a coaching standpoint, someone I rolled off after this game was Cliff Kingsbury.
I didn't think he deserved the Arizona job.
And the commentators, I don't know if it was this game or a different game. I think it was Greg Olson who had said that with Cliff Kingsbury, his thing is that he's always been a first half of the season coach where he does well, and then the second half
teams figure it out.
Yeah, teams figure it out.
Listen, it's not bad. So listen, I don't want him. I never thought he was a candidate. But it does sound more and more like we could be getting McCarthy next year without but let's look into this week. Looking into this week, McCarthy should have him, hopefully ready to go. The team, big win last week. It's a divisional game, so you always get up for those, but looking from the Giants side, because we know our Cowboys, they have I guess their 3rd string quarterback now. I guess everyone assumed they'd go to Drew Lock first because Drew Lock has been a starter in the NFL. Long term, not Tommy DeVito was a little bit last year, gave him a little boost, but he's not going to be a starter in the NFL. Drew Lock has been for a couple of years. What do you think the keys for the Giants are going in this week? Like you said, Zach Martin's out, but you do have some of the defensive guys back. Mike is back. The defense is getting a little bit healthier. What do the Giants need to do to pull out a victory this week?
Yeah, so they're going to have to do their best to run the ball. And I was watching some of their game against the Buccaneers, and they did have some gash plays, a couple of 10+ yard runs. It looked like, and so they're going to have to do that. Big Dex is going to have to do his thing and eat up that middle D line and get after Cooper Rush. But to our surprise, they weren't able to do that in the first game that we played each other. And I don't think they have Malik in the lineup, right, at this point.
I
Maybe.
don't know if I didn't see him on the injury report. I don't think so. I think he is playing.
Okay. But the Giants have had their struggles just like us. I mean, their points for their 32nd in the league, 14.8 passing yards, 28th in the league, rushing yards. They're at 19th. So that's kind of the strength of um, of the team. And if you want to call it their identity, that's what they need to try to do. The highlight win for them this season is against the Seattle Seahawks. They went into Seattle, and God knows how they won that game. They came out 29-20. And then since that, they've only had, let's see, two one possession losses, and they did lose to the Carolina Panthers.
Yeah.
So, and I guess if anyone was trying to tell you that they're trying to tank, they did when they went from instead of putting in their backup QB, they went straight to the third string.
Yeah. Well, I like their logic. If you're saying he gave us a spark last year, I kind of get it. I don't think either one of those guys really do anything, but I do think you're right. The one thing that makes me nervous when I do look at it, we had a pretty healthy lineup first time against them, and that couldn't, it was a 5-point game, one possession game. It was a very close game, and now we don't have, we have Cooper Rush and we don't have Dak. We do have, Micah, Bland. We got all the boys, except Tank, but you got most of the defense there. If you're the Giants, I do think the first game they could get no run game. I know, it was a big deal. They were coming in. I think Singletary was doing pretty well. They do have a new lead back. It seems Tyrone Tracy is the guy now. So you don't know with Drew Lock, you're probably going to get a little more conventional offense. He's probably going to take the shots. He's been around. Neighbors and Wandale both had great games against us last time. So I think that's going to be they're going to take a blueprint from that, I think, from that first game. Drew Lock, I don't know, I think it's going to be a lot of let's get them the ball. Let's get the ball out quick. That's what we were able to do last time. And then try to get Tracy going. They need to get a better run game than they had last time. It was very easy. Problem, Danny Jones looked like Peyton Manning out there, the way he was just slicing his defense apart. So I think that's what they want to get that run game started, try to hit those quick passes like they were able to get Dallas against last time. You hope maybe Dallas bumps and learns, but I feel like every game they always play off coverage. They don't really play bump and run coverage. So you could see a lot of that. I think that's what they're going to be looking for offensively. And I think you're right. Defensively, try to get Big Dex going. The one guy that killed us, it was a Thibodeau. I think that first game killed us. He had a lot of sacks. I think he had 2 sacks that game, or he had 1 sack, but it felt like he was really beaten. He's really beaten. Our left tackle. What's his name now? Guyton. There we go. He was, and it was affecting the game big time. Dak wasn't able to really get set. He had 1 sack, but is really there. He's injured, so I don't think he's playing. He's not in there. So you kind of hope they can figure it out. Get a little more time. And if you're the Giants, really, you want that defensive, just get after Cooper Rush, make it uncomfortable. Martin's missing, but they seem a little fresh. They've been able to run the ball. If they can really shut down the run game again, just get after the quarterback. But I think it starts with Dex. Dex got to, make havoc. If he's got to be the dude shutting down the run game and really getting after Cooper Rush. If they could do that, they could keep it close. I don't know if it's going to be a game like last week. They really got blown out and it would look bad. Baker Mayfield was making them look silly. And then he's making fun of Danny or Tommy Cutlets. It was bad. So I don't think I don't think they're looking at that type of game. If they can get the run game and that short passing game working, they can keep themselves in this. I don't know if, Dallas isn't a world beater. So if you're the Giants, that's what you want to do. Run game, keep that short pass like the first game, get Dex going. When you look over to the Cowboys side, I think after last week, you have to feel positive. I think the key is got to get Micah going on that defense. Keep him. He had 2 sacks last week. Let's get that defensive line. get after Locke. He doesn't have the reps with this team. You know, I know he's the second string, but if they went to Tommy, you kind of feel like maybe, you know, he's been there not a year. So you don't know if Drew Lock really has those reps with these guys to be able to hit them like Danny Dimes did earlier this season, just cooking it. So you hope he can't really hit them, and just I'm rushing. If I'm Dallas, I'm getting after, I'm making it uncomfortable, and just hope you shut down that run game in that blitz. I'm blitzing the gaps, looking to stop the run and get after the quarterback, because we have Diggs and we have Bland back there. I think if you're Dallas, that's what you want to do. I think it's a heavy blitz game. Offensively, I like what you said earlier about getting 18 plus carries. That's what we need. That's the mark. That's what we got to get. We got to get Dowdle. We got to get him. I'd like to see him get 20 carries. First game, he only had 11 rushes. It was a close game. It was close the whole time. Only 11 rushes. He averaged 4.2 yards a carry that first game.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get him going, so that way the Giants can't just try to go after Cooper, and then that opens up, it opens up CeeDee Lamb. It opens up Schoon. You get Cooks back. You can do some things with Turpin. You got to get Dowdle going this week, and then it opens everything and just blitz. I think we get a lot of sacks this week.
Yeah, I think so too. I think Overshown is going to have a great game. He looks so good coming off the edge and so fast on blitzes, and he because of the pressure he applied to Jaden Daniels, Golston got that interception because Daniels kind of had to just flip it out, try to the running back, and you see how much easier it is to come out with a win when your defense can get you the ball back, and it just creates so much momentum. So I do see, Drew Lock making some mistakes. I see either like a Donovan Wilson forcing another fumble, probably our most physical guy we have on defense. Mike that probably has a sack strip at the same time. So, I think our defense is going to show up again and show out, and it's going to feel good. Hey, look, a win's a win in the NFL. I get that, but we need a win at home. We need to break that losing streak and get our mojo back, bro. We have lost the mojo. So
we have.
Yeah, counting on our defense to continue to play like a top defense, and convert some red zone opportunities into touchdowns on the offensive side. Like you said, get Rico the ball. I think both teams are going to try to run the ball, which is probably going to make this a 2-hour game. Both teams, I think, want to get out here pretty quickly. Hopefully Cooper Rush can stay in a good rhythm. CD had four catches in the first quarter last game. So I think we see something like that again. And then probably some additional design plays to get Cooks back in rhythm. I'd be surprised if Cooks was in there, if he had like his normal maybe 80% snaps. I'd probably see him more like 50% of the offensive snaps, kind of ease him in a little bit, and kind of take care of business. Schoon, he does, because he's been getting more reps. I do see his blocking is not all that great. That's probably why he hasn't got as many opportunities. Spanford is a big dude, and I would like to see some fade routes, like when you're at the 5-yard line and the goal line. Throw it up to this guy. See if he can do what Gronk did. He just has that height. Does have really nice hands, and the package.
Big boy, you got to try to figure something out. Yeah, get him involved a little bit.
Yeah, the package that we had with Trey Lance didn't go that well in the last game, but would like to see a little bit more maybe QB options. And hey, look, I could see a point where we're up, 33-6, and Lance gets some reps in the fourth quarter.
With that point, like Olsen was saying, like you want to see, I think it was Olsen. He was saying like you'd like to see more than just a play though. Like, give Lance, if you're going to do it, give Lance a drive. Don't just throw him out there one play here, one play there. Give the kid an opportunity to put a drive together. I agree with that point. If you're going to put him out there, don't just do some, handoff or option and just take him back off the field, because the defense you're doing that, the defense is known to look for it. But I think, listen, I'm starting Dallas's defense in my fantasy football league this week. I think it's going to be a good game. I really I love what you brought up Overshawn. I think he's really showing to be a guy, and he can be a guy. He is second on the team in tackles at 75. He's tied for first in the team with sacks with 5. So he's very much putting in work this season. He has 8 tackles for loss. I think he leads the team with solo tackles at 47. He does. And, we saw earlier in this season, the one play where we brought up against where he was one-on-one coverage with Neighbors on that little out route, and he made a play on Neighbors that you don't expect many linebackers to make. Right. You see it with the big time, the Warners, those type of dudes. So I'm really, I know this season we all kind of think it's lost, but seeing that guy, seeing the rookies, seeing those people play and how they're going to, because linebacker is a position we've needed. So to see how Kendricks is playing, I think it's helping with Overshown, and he's really, man, this kid could be you might switch positions, man. I know at middle linebacker he looks good, but he looks good blitzing too. He does look good getting off the ball. So I like what I see. I think they have some pieces going in to prediction time, Aaron. We're looking at it. Thanksgiving Day, and we won last year pretty handily we played Washington last year, right? Beat them. Yeah. We get the Giants this year. What are you feeling? So I heard you say 33-6 in the fourth. You think maybe if that happened, we can see Trey Lance. Are you feeling that type of score?
So I said Trey Lance would come in if there's a score like
Well, that's a big score to even just throw out there. So I'm thought that's maybe what I thought you had running around upstairs.
Yeah. Well, look, we're definitely going to get some turnovers. I don't know what our red zone efficiency is going to be like. So for that reason, I'm going to say Cowboys come out on top. We get our second win in a row, 26-10.
26. I like it. I'm gonna outgo you here. I'm going 34-10. Cowboys. Okay. I'm excited this week. I think you're right. I think the defense is jazzed up. They played very well last week. Turpin had a great game. I think you're going to get it. I think we're getting a defensive touchdown this week. And I'm going to go. So I'm going to ask you over under. Let's go. It's a lot. 4.5 for sacks for the Cowboys this week. Over under.
I'll say under.
I'm going over because I think they get 5+.
Okay.
5+ sacks, 2 interceptions. I think it's an annihilation. Now, my confidence. I feel like last week I was very confident the Cowboys were going to lose. They won. I'm terrified. My overconfidence is going to make me pay this week. But listen, I think they win. I think Aubrey nails a 60-yarder. I think they get back at home. They finally get off the schneid. They put together a great game this week at home, and they come out victorious. That's what I believe.
Now, if let's say we only had 3 losses in the season, would you be like pounding the table, like pick up Danny Dimes and bring him in?
No, because I don't think Danny Dimes is that. He didn't yeah.
Is he better than Cooper Rush?
Probably. Okay. If Dak's still hurt and we had 3 losses, I may have thought about it. Because I do think the mobility he would have added, he has shown he can make some plays. The problem was even coming out, who I think it was not Kuiper. Who's the other analyst with the kid for the Ohio State? Who's the other analyst big time? McShay. Because they're going back and they're showing him, like he said when the kid came out, he said he's just not an NFL quarterback. And everything he said about it, like when you watch it, it makes sense. If we had 3 losses and Dak was hurt, I would think about it. But Cooper has shown, he went 4-1 that one year, played very well on this team. He's been around McCarthy long enough to where I'd have been like, I don't think Danny wins you a Super Bowl. I'd have been okay keeping Cooper. Even at that point, I think.
I think like if Dr. B was on the show, he would say, and other Giants fans that are, fans of Danny Dimes, they would tell you he's never had a top offensive line. He's really never had a productive.
Dallas doesn't have one either, though. No.
And then I did want to ask you if Brian Daboll became available.
No.
No.
I want a guy. So, because I think it was Josh Allen in Buffalo. And I think he overestimated what he had in Danny Dimes. If I want to quit, I would much rather go after the kid. To me, the guy out there that I would want most, I think at the top of my list right now is Saleh. Because I do believe in him. I believe he turned that Jets defense around. If you could get a guy like Saleh and you can find a way to keep Parsons and Overshown continues his growth, you have something scary because you have Diggs. Bland shown he could be a player. You just need to figure out something here, something there. I think Saleh is when I think of Saleh, I think of Dan Campbell. I think Dan Campbell, Detroit's never had a winning team. I think Saleh got strapped with Aaron Rodgers. I don't believe Saleh wanted Aaron Rodgers. And it shows the team really picked Aaron Rodgers over Saleh. I think that's what that was. Yeah. That's the type of dude I think I want a hard-nosed defensive coach coming in here next time.
Okay. Well, I think we're going to get an offensive hire for that reason. I think Saleh would be a good DC option for us, as well as Mike Vrabel.
I would like Vrabel. I would take Vrabel as a DC. I would take both of those guys as a DC in a heartbeat. I would think both of those guys as a head coach as well. Because that's the type that's the direction I want to go. Especially, listen, if you're already committed to Dak, you're committed to CD, you don't need an offensive guy, an offensive head coach. Bring in a coordinator, let him work with Dak because Dak's going to be around for 4 more years. Let them kind of tweak what Dak likes because you have your offense. Mm-hmm. I need a defensive dude. We need to set up a defensive identity. That's why I go defensive coach.
So whether it be Saleh or Vrabel, I've always been a fan of Bieniemy. From the Andy Reid tree, I like what I saw, the creativity that when he was with Ron Rivera.
But from everything they say, it's not Bieniemy. Like, it's tough for me because it was Andy Reid. Let's be honest. Like, well, yeah, that's to me. I don't think, because to me, there's a reason why he hasn't been hot. Like, you can't. I understand. I get that part. Yeah. But I do think it's more his. If you're a good coach, you're going to get hired. I get like the head coaches of color always have more trouble, but the dude still hasn't gotten anything as a head coach. To me, I get you want, but if you see a lot of, I just don't believe. I think there's a reason he's not getting the head coach position, and I don't think it has anything to do with skin color. I think he's just not. I think everybody knows it's Andy Reid's offense. Yeah,
well, look, if Jerry Jones calls you tomorrow and says, "Hey, I have Kellen Moore or Bieniemy here as my top 2 choices,"
Kellen Moore. See, I've seen Kellen Moore. I know what he's done.
Moore has done enough. I don't think he's done enough.
He's got the Eagles at the number 2 seed. They're 9-2 right now, and that offense. Now that Kellen Moore's there, that offense looks amazing. They're running the ball great with Saquon. Hurts is looking very good. I'm just saying, and he looked great in Dallas. I get he had that 1-year hiccup with Herbert, but he still looked good. There was things he did that were well. I would have gotten rid of McCarthy and kept Kellen Moore. I'm taking Kellen Moore if he's offered up. If he's the option.
If you put in 9 out of 10 other offensive coordinators on the Eagles, they're not going to look much different. You got the
Do you remember-
MVP and Saquon Barkley, bro.
But do you remember what happened last season when everybody was talking of that dude? They just crapped the bed. They crapped the bed last year. I get they have Saquon this year, but it's also, we saw what I think in the beginning, from what I've heard, beginning of the year is a lot of Sirianni. Once Kellen Moore kind of took the reins, the team started to flourish.
Last question for you right now. Are Eagles going to win the Super Bowl?
I think they're the favorite right now. Would I pick them? The team I'm not bet. Mahomes to me has reached the Brady level where I'm not betting against Mahomes.
Okay.
So, like, if I was a betting man right now, my money's going on the Chiefs. But if I'm picking a favorite, I think to me the favorite has to be the Eagles. I think they beat Buffalo. I actually think they beat Baltimore this weekend. I think Baltimore's favorite. When I looked on Yahoo, a lot of people are picking. I think 70% of the people are picking Baltimore. I think the Eagles are a very good team. I'm not betting against Patrick Mahomes, though. So what do you think then? What is your opinion?
I am afraid that they will make it to the Super Bowl and could do some damage, and it makes me sick.
Oh, they are. Listen, I don't know. Outside of, I don't think Detroit's better than them. I don't think, like, the two teams, and you look at the teams, the Packers aren't better than them. Minnesota's not better than them. Detroit's not better than them. Those are really the teams you have to worry about. Nobody thinks anybody in the NFC South or in the NFC West has a shot. So Eagles have to be they're far and away, to me, the favorite of the NFC.
Well, if they have to go to Detroit, that's
they blow Detroit out in Detroit. I don't think it's now that they don't have Aiden Hutchinson, you don't have the pass rush. Campbell's gone now. You lost two. I get that offense. I get that offense is very good. I don't think the Eagles' offense is better. The Eagles have a decent. Listen, I agree with you. It bothers me. I think that if you're going this year, Eagles have to be the favorite for the Super Bowl, I think, as of right now. If you're looking at everything, and this, I get it, to me, but I'm putting my money on Patty. I want him to win it. I want him to get 3 in a row. Dallas is out. I said once Dallas gets out, I'm rooting for Mahomes. So,
all right.
Thank you, everyone, for checking us out this Thanksgiving Day. Listen, it hasn't been often this season. Mr. Aaron James and I have been on the same team here. I think it started. That's the way it started. Went off the rails pretty quick after that. Once those losses, we both listen. I was 14 and I was 15-2. I think I was my prediction. I was all aboard. It's been downhill, but hey, I got a big win this Turkey Day. So everyone for watching today, thank you so much. Appreciate it. We love you. Happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy time with your family. Be thankful. I know I'm thankful. Got a wonderful lady. My wonderful kids. I'm thankful for all that. All of you be thankful. Say your prayers. Enjoy. Mr. Aaron James, thankful for you every time we do this podcast. I enjoy our Sunday talks. Enjoy these talks. Man, it's been fun. Let's get a dub on Turkey Day. Let's get a dub. Let's get another division win as well. I think that'll put us 2-1 or 3-1 in the division. So listen, there's still an outside shot. If you win this game, you got some easy games coming up. You sent it. I know it's posted. They can make some noise if you start a roll, and they should. Everybody, love you all. Enjoy your Thanksgiving. For Cowboys Takeover Podcast, for the Ring the Bell Network, I'm Jason Kent. That's Mr. Aaron James. Let's go Cowboys. Get a Turkey Day dub. 4:30, Dallas. Let's get a win.